So first and foremost, let me apologize for the audio quality. I'm going to crunch for time, and I promised several people I'd get this out ASAP. But this is going to basically be a video on the Perma-pocket technique I've been using since a few days after Sage Awakening launch. And that's basically the ability to permanently pocket main hand skills whilst being in the Awakening kit. My favorite skill to do this with is Illusion Detonation. So let's go ahead and Rift Chain, Surge. Now we've pocketed Illusion Detonation. So something I never liked in the Awakening kit is that Upsurge has the 30% ignore knockdown tied to Ator's Spear, which is such a close range skill. So what I prefer to actually do is to hit with Upsurge, Cswap in, and then fire that detonation for the range knockdown. That pocket technique also will work with several other skills, mainly finishing touch and Atomagia. But for those two skills, I much prefer to Cswap for the frontal guard and the quick escape. So if somebody's closing in on you, you spatial collapse them, the CC fails, and you need to get GTFO, you can quickly just Cswap for the frontal guard, be safe, and then bolt out. And then let's say you want to go behind enemy lines, you can then divine over, then immediately rift chain into that float. And that's all done just by casting the initial skill into a Cswap. These tools are very powerful for Sage's ranged kit and utility. So it allows us a much higher versatility and safer way to poke or fish for CC after the iframe nerf. The iframe nerf basically crippled Sage in a lot of aspects of the game, seeing that most of his kit is really designed around teleport, mid, or melee. So using main hand skills, some of which are excellent CCs, and be able to do so permanently pocketing them to recall at any time without the long cast time that Succession Sage has, makes him vastly superior. Succession Sage is at such a rough spot in 1v1 duel for spot, and for those of us that love the main hand and its effects, this gives us that option with even more ranged utility and CCs to do so. This can also be done in the Awakening kit. You can even double pocket. I'll just go ahead and show a quick interrogate into Surge, then into Cswap. Once that's done, interrogate's pocketed. I can quickly recall that by just bolting after a Radiant Annihilation and casting F again. So as you can see, the skill is insanely versatile with that. You can even go back and forth from main hand and Awakening. So as you saw, I just perma-pocketed Atomagia. I can then Rift Chain, decide not to cast, and go back to Surge. That Atomagia is still pocketed. I can then even cast Void, go back in, and Surge. And that Atomagia is still pocketed. Then I can just go ahead and Rift Chain and call it out at the time of my choosing. So as you can see, the kit's very versatile, and the Perma-pocket technique allows you to actually move back and forth while saving some of his best CCs. Just in closing, a few things I do want to point out that aren't listed on the tooltip that sages might find useful. Upsurge can be hotbarred, and so can Radiant Annihilation. Radiant Annihilation will allow you to get back from main hand to Awakening, but it's not protected, so you're better off just C-swapping. But Upsurge is really good to know in case you want to take that extended frontal guard for protection. Outside of that, Void Eruption is a great SA to get back into the main hand into Rift Chain. And that's about all. There are other skills. They're just much more complex and revolve around tab canceling and overcharging. And if there's enough interest, I'll go ahead and make a video on some of the others. But these are the most commonly used ones. Again, I'll leave the key commands down in the description. If you can go ahead and leave any comments you might have in the comments, I'll get back to those. And again, I apologize for the audio and video quality. Again, it's crunch. But yeah, have a great rest of your week.